Good morning. Good morning. Wave at me if you're alive. Wave. Yay, engagement. Yay. Cool. How's everybody feeling? Good? Little tired, maybe? I might know why. Since we're at the DAO stage, I'm going to be super annoying and do the polling thing. Raise your hand if you've ever been to a crypto rave. Most people? Cool. Keep your hand up if you've been to a crypto spa. No one. Okay, today we're going to talk about hyperspas. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Gabriel. I'm player 0x of a kawaii coordination game called Mochi. We make coordination games to help decentralized teams stick together. But you probably know us more famously from our raves that we throw all over crypto. Here are some pictures from a rave we threw in Bogota, one in Osaka for DevCon Prague a couple years ago, and here's a balloon rave that we did at Bitcoin Miami. So I'm partially responsible for the reason why you may be a little bit tired today if you went to the rave. I'm sorry, but really I'm not. But I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a history lesson. All of the rave things that you see now in crypto started with an article that was posted in Wired in 2018. They talked a little bit about parties that were going on in Berlin where you would have to mine tokens to get an invite to a secret underground party, and you had to show your wallet, and you had to commit proof of work basically to get to the rave. This inspired basically me to start throwing raves in crypto because we needed better ways to kind of combine disparate groups of people and get them to work with each other to bring together what you now see today as the Ethereum ecosystem. But I think we're kind of like oversupplied with raves now. I think every party that you go to is like a crypto rave. And I'm honestly just kind of tired, like literally physically kind of tired and worn down. And as Simona said, like the whole DAO thing is just like really exhausting. So I think we just need a little bit more of a spa vibe. We need a little bit more of a spa culture in crypto. So I'm going to talk to you today about decentralized autonomous hyperspas. But first, we need to buy a mall. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the American dream. This is the literal American dream, a $5 billion monstrosity in New Jersey, filled with a theme park, roller coasters, a giant wave pool, retail luxury shopping mall, hotel, massive. And it's the perfect physical manifestation of the American commercial life. The mall in America, in the American imaginary, is the center of everything that we do. It's become at once the church, the apothecary, the hospital, the daycare, the restaurant, and it's also the place that we go to level up. If the game of life in America, if the American life is something of a game, the place that we go to level up our character is the shopping mall, right? So you grind, you go to work throughout the week, and then maybe on the weekend, you take the kids to the mall, and you go upgrade your character, right? You go to Brooks Brothers and buy a nicer suit, you buy some nice perfume that makes you a little bit more attractive, you buy some new shoes that make you run a little bit faster. This is where we used to go to level up our character, and more importantly, where we went to go show it off to other people, right? Because we don't go to church anymore. So instead, we go to the mall to kind of show off the new handbag, and you might run into your neighbor, and they see, oh, they're doing pretty well. I need to kind of pick it up a little bit, right? But the American dream, I'm sad to say, is dying. Every couple years, somebody writes a new article about how American shopping malls are going completely defunct. 1,200 malls have been built in the last 50 years of American development, and over a third of them are now in a derelict state or decaying rapidly. Here's everything in one chart. 2019, this is pre-pandemic. This is the rate of retail closures happening, again, before the COVID hit, reaching almost 11,000. I talked to a friend about this whole mall kind of conundrum. He works in in traditional finance, and he sent me a Bloomberg Terminal article where he talked a little bit about what mall owners are trying to do now that things are dying, and they're trying to invest in this thing called experiential retail. They're trying to get people to come and make shopping great again by throwing this kind of shit into the mall. Giant wave pool. This was from the American Dream in New Jersey. I don't think it's going to work, and I'm going to tell you why. 3 reasons. Number one, we're all familiar with this. We just shop online now. Everything we do is we just buy things online. It's so much more convenient. 2-day shipping, what are you going to do? Go to the mall? No, you're just going to sit at home. You're going to click, 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 and it's going to be delivered to your door. We've gone in a particular direction, and we're kind of not going to go back from this. The convenience is just too great. Second reason, we've increasingly started to virtualize all of our status signaling in our society. Younger people know this because that's what we use Instagram for. We take photos of the things that we buy, the places that we go to, the vacations that we have, and we share them with our friends so that we can up-level our status and let people know that we're doing okay. There's a weird phenomena that's actually happening now where kids are buying clothes or going to the shopping mall to try on the clothes, do their little photo shoot, and then they actually don't ever purchase the clothes, or if they do purchase them, they just return them right after. Just to give you a little bit of the status signaling that's happening just purely in virtual space. And if you're here at ETH Denver, it means you're working actively to accelerate this process. If you're working in the metaverse, you know, we're buying NFTs and artworks and increasingly displaying them in virtual metaverse spaces. So we're just going deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole of increasing virtualization. And what I'm fearful of is that we're going to become disconnected from this current meat space that we're currently sharing right now. I want to bring your attention to a very specific mall that's in my hometown of Los Angeles, California. This is actually the Hawthorne Plaza Mall. It was opened in 1977, broke ground, 1.2 million square feet of luxury retail space that was built. It closed down in 1999. And it's the most famous mall that nobody's ever heard of, but everybody here has probably been to. This is what it looked like when it opened in 1977, and this is what it looks like now, sitting completely empty in Hawthorne, California. I want you to take a look at this list of movies, music videos, films, and tell me if you've seen any of these films, because that means you have virtually visited the Hawthorne Mall. If you've watched Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, this is the famous drifting scene where they're driving through the parking garage. It was shot right here at the Hawthorne Mall. If you like Beyonce and have seen her Superpower music video, she stages a revolution walking through this very space of the Hawthorne Mall. And just to give you a sense of the scale of the emptiness of this mall, I actually took a trip with my sister. She's one of my sisters right here, during the pandemic in 2020 because we wanted to do something for Halloween and I didn't want to take them to a dirty crypto wave and get them COVID. So we did some urban exploring. We actually broke into the Hawthorne Mall and did a little photo shoot of ourselves. This is how big the space is, taking up so much space in our urban, in our urban spaces. And here's a picture of me looking really cool, like I just came out of the Matrix. So it looks like a literal zombie apocalypse when you kind of look at the derelict state of the shopping mall, which again used to be such a lively point of our American existence. In fact, we have this weird obsession with zombie apocalypses, don't we? All of our video games and the movies that we watch, we have this strange fascination with the dying, decaying urban infrastructure that we have. And the way that we kind of sort through and play out this fear and anxiety we have about what's going to take it over is through the zombie film. It's one part fear and a deep, like, dark anxiety about it, and it's one part an excitement, almost erotic, about what's going to come in and create a new thing. This is one of my favorite philosophers. You're all just perverts and you're horny for the apocalypse. So what are we going to do with these dying institutions that used to be the center, the coordinating point for our human societies coming next? And what I want to tell you is that the zombie actually is already here. This is not something that's going to happen. It's something that's actively happening as we speak. There are 3 zombies that have taken over the Hawthorne Mall. And I want you to shout it out. Just take a wild guess. What are the 3 zombies that have taken over the Hawthorne Mall? Go ahead, anybody. Amazon. Amazon Sprinter vans are taking up the Hawthorne Mall right now, lining the parking garage. 2 more. Eventually, that's more of the hyperspa vibe. Homeless. Yes, there have been homeless encampments that have been in there, but kicked out by the police. Since we're running on time, I'm just going to kind of speed this up. The second zombie that's taken over the Hawthorne Mall, Tesla Overstock. Tesla Overstock lining the parking garage. Third, hospice center. A refrigerator for our dying and elderly. These are the 3 American zombies that are taking over the shopping mall. And I want you to take a look at this photo and tell me what you see. Do you see a utopia or a dystopia? And I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. Why is it that billionaires are on Twitter talking about going to space, building a cabin in the woods, going into the metaverse, or seasteading and creating a network state? I don't know. And meanwhile, they're buying up land and real estate in the densest urban cities of America. Especially at a time when homelessness rates are going up, hyperinflation is increasing, and we're staying more and more inside, relegated to the home. Another question, why is it that we're building DAO tools to amass all of this time, all of this energy, all of this capital, $40 million to buy a decaying piece of paper called the United States Constitution? With the same amount of money, we could have bought 25 malls. Put that into perspective. And the last thing that I want to ask you is, if you're a guy in this space and you're sitting around looking and you're going, where are the women? How else do you think we're going to onboard the next million women into crypto? I have an idea. And if you're a woman here, I know you're a minority, but that minority is power. You have the power to say what is cool in crypto. And I want you to use that power to manifest the spa DAO that you all deserve. I want everybody to take out their phones right now. Go ahead and scan this QR code. A little bit of an incentive for you. I just wrote a piece, the second piece of a series about this spa DAO concept that I'm writing. The first 5 people that mint it on Mirror and retweet this post, send me DM. I will buy you a spa package in your city. The only stipulation is that you have to bring 1 person with you. We're gonna manifest this spa DAO all over the world. And to end, I just want to read a quote from a member of the Hawthorne Society, just to kind of frame this and cap it all off. In hindsight, the mall was a wishfully conceived, overly ambitious, ill-timed answer to the changing economic and societal conditions that were developing throughout the country and continue to affect downtown commercial districts in present times. The project's potential was misjudged. Its inception was sluggish. Its execution was lagging. Its success was brief, and its vulnerability was broad. On balance, it did for a while serve the people of South Bay Area and stand as an object of pride for the citizens of Hawthorne. But powerful forces beyond the control of, unimagined by its creators, collaborators, owners and operators, found weaknesses in the concept on which the plaza was built and contributed to its demise. This is all in hindsight. 14 years after its opening, with diminishing occupancy and diminishing levels of merchandise, it was purchased as a potential subject for renovation. 22 years after its opening, its last internal store closed and it became a ghost mall. In the interim, other owners and interested parties have floated concepts to bring the Hawthorne Plaza into new life. They have all been submerged. 45 years after its opening, the Hawthorne Plaza is somewhat a notorious derelict. The land that supports it, and perhaps the mall itself, is waiting through the passage of time on the geologic scale to be put to an appropriate and worthy purpose. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much. What's my favorite spa treatment? So I do something called the 5-5-5. And if you do this, I promise you, you will have a visionary experience. And the trick is 5 minutes in the hot tub, 5 minutes in the sauna, 5-minute cold plunge. Repeat, 5 minutes in the hot tub, 5 minutes in the sauna, 5-minute cold plunge. Last one, 5 minutes in the hot tub, 5 minutes in the steam room, 5-minute breath hold in the cold plunge. You get up, lay down, you'll see the future, I promise. Question?
Yeah, so I'm just curious. So you mentioned like experiential things like hyperspa, crypto rave. What would be like another example you see, you know, maybe 5-10 years down the line that would be integrated into like a similar setting as like what a crypto rave is, a hyperspa as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. I haven't really thought that far because this takes up a lot of time and my energy. But you bring up the rave and the spa thing again. So that article that I just wrote goes a little bit into the dialectics of spas and raves. And I think to tie this to something that I think all of you DAO people are kind of interested in, spas and raves are a cybernetic process. Input, process, output. The input is kind of like laggard, tired human beings. You perform a rave process, you perform a spa process, and out pops people who are like chipper and happy and like, you know, good. There are benefits, I think, to the rave. It does a very specific thing that I think a lot of young people like. But in my mind, it's a young person's solution to a young person's problem. And the spa is what's going to balance it out. Spa does something very similar. I would love to see more experiential things. I think if we bought a mall, the whole thing probably couldn't be a spa. But again, the price of housing is rising everywhere in the United States. Homelessness in my hometown of Los Angeles is present everywhere. And we need to use this space to give shelter and home and roofs to people who are in need. Wrapping it up. Thank you very much.